to another Native Thoughts review. This time, album review, just as the one I did previously. Album review this time is for Ludacris, Ludaversal. I forget. Anyway, it's a Ludacris album. I'm saying that's a bad way, but no, it's a great album. I actually like an album as much as I enjoyed Kendrick's album and Action Bronson. But this album, I liked it because it got me off guard, in which I'm not a fan of Ludacris. I like some of his old songs, but I was never that fan of which I always listened to him constantly. I didn't even know if he had albums or not. I just felt like it was one of those guest appearances or just one single. I mean, he had albums, but I was never. He always thought he was always that cheesy. He was always the jokester version of Outkast, in which he had that southern type of style to it, much as Outkast did, but Outkast was more mainstream and he was more underground, but he was always that jokester type in which he told jokes and puns and whatnot. And he was very vulgar about his lyrics and kind of like, not offensive, but he always grew on offensive topics with his puns and whatnot. But this time, this album, it's a different type of album for him, in which I have not listened to any of his old albums, but in this album I feel it's different because of the style of the songs that I've heard. Because this is one of those. Here's the thing in the story, the history of this album. The history about this album is that it is an album that was supposed to be out since 2011, and it didn't come out in 2015, which is weird because you might think all these songs are probably pushed back. In my sense, that I feel like he recorded a bunch of songs from 2011, 2015. I mean, he postponed it because of certain things, so I believe legal obligations. But he did a bunch of songs, and I felt like he's like, okay, my career as a movie star and how I am right now, 2011, in which you could probably say he became more frequent actor in the Fast and Furious, started collabing with Justin Bieber, all that shit that he's been doing, more acting. I feel like he's like, okay, let's see where my life is going, and then it'll be a great time to post this album as a coming of age life. And not coming of age life, but in the way of look at where I am now. And it's one of those albums with which you have a veteran rapper. He's a veteran, you could say, because he's older. He had album sales and whatnot in the vein of Nas, Common. They're veteran Wu-Tang roots, in which they're veterans. They've been in the game for a while. That's how I feel about Ludacris, and it reminds me a lot of the Nas album, the Last Dawn, in which he is talking about his life, where he's at now, and his family, and where he has so much. But then again, he has to give those tracks in which this is what I got famous for. Let me do some. Nas would be more poetic stuff, more serious stuff about life, like songs Daughters and whatnot. And then and for Ludacris, it feels like he has that. He's talking about his life. He's talking about how much fame he has at the moment, all the money he received for the Fast and Furious movies and stuff like that. And he's talking about people who still hate on him. He is doing that songs where he does rap fast, and he does have those songs in which he's like, if you like me, we don't, fuck you, and stuff like that. And then like vulgar lines in which he, not as much, but he has those tracks. For me, if you want to listen to his album, listen to the original, the standard version. But I feel like if you listen to the deluxe version and the deluxe edition that has like 4 more tracks, you must, because the way this album is that he starts off being that rapping Ludacris. I mean, he's rapping about streetwise stuff or certain-wise stuff, and his life. And I feel like it takes a big gap by the end in which it becomes more soul, more R&B-ish type. But it is amazing at it is. And not amazing is just fucking great. It was the best album. It's great at which the feeling of the whole environment, because he is talking about the same shit, but he is more of it feels different. I mean, you have songs with Usher, CeeLo Green, then you have John Legend, and those songs for me, they stand out the most because after listening to it, I'm still humming the songs there with the CeeLo Green and then the Usher. They're not great songs, but they're okay songs in this entirely of the concept of the album, because I'm not trying to give so much point to it, but one of those albums that gets you off guard by the end. If you're not like those type of R&B type of people or those soulful type of people, I mean, I don't know if you should listen to it because the first half of the album was great, but that whole last part just got me off guard. I'm like, this is a really great album, which it changed its environment without being too hectic, without being too experimental. You know, the production is so amazing in which it shifts just quickly. It's one of my favorite albums so far this year because I still listen to a bunch. I still listen to the whole album. I don't listen to the songs I like. I listen to the whole album entirely because it's one of those albums that just got me off guard, and it's one of those things that just gets you off guard. And like, you hear people talk too much stuff about it, like great things. I hear nothing but great things about this album, like good reviews, like okay reviews. But it's one of those things like I'm like, I feel like it's gonna be too hype and I'm not gonna like it. Like the last Common album, in which I thought it was too hype and I felt like it was somewhat hype and I didn't like end up liking all of it. This is in this veins of like it got okay reviews. It got pretty good. A lot of people would like it a lot, but it's one of those where it came off guard and it just made me like it a lot. So I say check out. I say check out, but check out the deluxe version. If you download it off iTunes, or it doesn't matter where you get it from. If you listen to it on apps that let you listen to it, listen to the deluxe edition because the last songs are gonna save it. It's gonna make it more of a standout album about his life, about Ludacris, where he's trying to talk about his life and stuff like that. And pretty much that's all I have today, people. If you listen to this audio review, you could watch the same audio review on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, you could listen to it on SoundCloud. Things that I could recommend for you so far from having my criteria of reviews: go check out Furious 7 at the theaters. Go check out the Action Bronson and Catching the More because those are great albums. They're good albums for what they are. Check out the Ludacris album for sure. You know, it's a great. I liked it a lot. Check out It Follows. It's a great little indie horror film. Check out Run All Night once it comes out on DVD because it's pretty forgettable by now. Check out Good Kill when it comes out. If it's in the theater, the movie theater near you, or is that VOD, whatever. Lost River. You can get lost with that if you want to. But everybody have a good night. I hope you have a good day wherever time you listen to this. This is Nader Thoughts. Goodbye, everybody.